Here's Sanders in Miami talking about that very
Well,
thing.
something I noticed a few years back, and that was that reporters who were too young to cover another great story of the 20th century, the civil rights story, they wanted part of that glory. So everything they covered became Selma, and every bad cop became Bull Connor with his German shepherds and water hoses. Now I'm noticing that a lot of reporters who were too young to cover Watergate, they want part of that glory too, and finally they found it. Donald Trump firing James Comey is their Watergate, except it isn't. Watergate was a conspiracy of historical proportions, lots and lots of people very close to the president. This is a major story, this is a legitimate story, but it is not Watergate. It doesn't need the hype. One more thing, nothing I just said is a defense of the Trump White House. This is the gang that couldn't shoot straight. They would find a way to screw up a one-car funeral procession. They changed the story on why Comey got fired every 10 minutes, and I put that on the President of the United States. Despite that, they don't look good at the White House, but the press doesn't look good either, turning this into a Tuesday night massacre.
Okay. All right, me and Sanders, we don't agree by them changing the stories up of why they fired Comey and all that position and stuff like that. To me, give the president a break. But I do agree with him. It's definitely not a Watergate, but the press, that's what they're calling it. It's a Watergate. There's a conspiracy going on. It's the Russians. The Russians are here. The Russians are taking over. I mean, God almighty. Seriously, already. I mean, if that does not give you an Excedrin headache, you want to pop more than two of them. I mean, it's really just awful. The Russians, I'll tell you, I'm not big fans. These people are playing cat and mouse all the time with us. They are definitely liars. They don't tell the truth. Our State Department knows this. And them meddling into our elections or meddling into our government or whatever they're trying to do. But, folks, let's just be reminded we do the same thing to them. We have spies. They have spies. Obama kicked out spies that were living here because I guess they were getting a little bit too much intel information, but they have houses here. We're aware of it. Just do a little research. You can find this stuff out. It's true. Every country just about has them to report back to their country as to what we're doing or what they're doing. Where do you think that they get the intelligence from? We just don't like it when they do it. So here we go. A Russian fighter jet comes within 20 feet of a U.S. Navy aircraft, according to officials. Here we go again. An armed Russian fighter flew alarmingly close to a U.S. Navy reconnaissance aircraft flying in the Black Sea this past week. Just 20 feet from the American aircraft and remained that close for 5 minutes, according to a U.S. defense official. The Russian jet was carrying 6-to-air missiles under its wings, making this episode highly provocative, according to one official. I don't know what they're trying to do, but they're coming very close to, that was in the Black Sea, that wasn't Alaska. But they've come many times in Alaska, 3-4 times in just the last couple months with a nuke bomber. But dangerous to hurt our pilots, to put them in danger, if not already in danger. For the flights, the missions that they take, this is just ridiculous. Thanks for the Russian reset, by the way, Obama and Hillary Clinton and John Kerry. I totally believe the diplomacy left over from an inept administration has caused this air of disrespect. It's given them the proxy to be able to go ahead and do this. And yes, this is a testing of this president, but I don't think that Russia should be doing this, because they should be reminded of what's going on in North Korea about what these sanctions can do and will do. And I believe that Russia will be suffering the consequences sooner rather than later if they keep this game up. It's not a good thing, and would not be surprised if there's not some strong talks coming soon because somebody's going to get hurt up there in the air. It's happening far too many times out to sea with our naval vessels, with our pilots in uniform that are just doing their job. And it's disrespectful to the United States of America and for what we're trying to do. And it's unbelievable. But again, I go saying this on record. It's because of the failed policies of the former administration. They've allowed this to take place. And they feel like they can get away with this with Donald Trump. They should understand that's not how he is. I don't know what their message ultimately, what they're trying to do is say, not mess with us. We're not afraid of you, America. We're not afraid of you, Donald Trump. We're Russia. You can cripple somebody very easily. And it's sad for the Russian people because a lot of the Russian people, not quite as bad as North Korea, but they don't have it all that good. There's a lot of poverty in Russia, a lot of it. And he suppresses his people, and God knows how he got back into the presidency. Said people voted for him. I'm sure there was rigged elections there, don't you think? Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in. If you like the show, share the show. Remember, we're 100% listener supported. If you can make a donation today to help us, we'd greatly appreciate it. For thepeopleshow.com, Keith Allen saying all the best. May God bless. Have a great weekend.